winter sinuses are going to start coming around.
Who knows? I've never seen this much pollen before in my life.
It's crazy, man.
But that's why we're in a good market for pressure washing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, baby, I'm ready to roll when you are.
Let's go, man. I thought we already were.
We were.
Oh, nice.
That's the point. I just like, let's, do we have like an official intro? I guess just, hello.
Bring us in, man.
Welcome. Welcome to the Have White Belt Will Travel podcast, episode 4. We're really down to the wire today because typically we record this the week before, but we're recording and releasing this tomorrow. So this is the most relevant we're going to be on a podcast so far.
Yes.
Which is great because usually we're about a week off of relevancy, and not much of what we say makes sense.
Well, you know, we can't miss a week. The masses just won't allow it.
I know, all 69 of them watching on YouTube. I think at least 5 are me, at least 5 are you. Maybe once or twice from Josh and Colton, but hey, we'll take it.
So, like, prior to starting the podcast, and you were playing that music that you just now made, and your voice and everything, that sparked something like a memory for me, or it just sparked something in my head, like how you've released those 2 covers on Instagram, and like they blew up. You know, people actually loved it and everything. And then that reminds me of like when we went to Bud's and you did the karaoke. And I just watched that video because I took the whole video. I just watched it like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days ago. And still, like, let me just set up the story. We go to Bud's. It's a little bar here and everything. And they have karaoke. And we didn't know that. And our buddy Jared and myself knew that Bobby was a singer, but we've never really heard him sing or anything like that. And so, you know, we talk him in, and he's like, he's brooding. He's like, no, man, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And you totally know he's going to do it, you know? Yeah. So we buy him a beer. He's like, no, I just can't do it. And then he gets another beer and he's like, all right, I'm doing it. And he goes up and he requests the song, you know, with the karaoke DJ or whatever you call him. And so as he's going up, I don't know how the waitress caught wind of the song that he was going to sing, but it was "Walking in Memphis," and she was legitimately pissed. She was, because that was her song. She was like,
she thought I was going to ruin it.
I got her on video, or you can hear her audio on the video that I took, and she was just like, he better not screw this up. Like, I mean, like she was so invested in this song. So Bobby starts it, and immediately the whole bar just watches them, and they love him. And the waitress is like, oh my God, he's actually good. And then my favorite part about the whole thing was when the guy walked up to the stage.
My buddy.
This man walks up to the stage. He is waving his hand above his head back and forth. Bobby puts his hand out, and they almost interlocked fingers.
That's what I was going for.
Oh, if that would have happened.
Oh, that's what I was aiming for, but he gave me a high five instead.
Greatest thing. Man.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
When are you going to release another cover?
Actually, so Tuesdays are usually when I record them.
Oh, yeah?
But we're podcasting instead, so.
Oh.
But what works is, that's why I set this microphone stand up, because I'm just going to leave it here, and then when you leave, I'm going to try to bang out a cover before Shelby gets home, and then call it a day.
Nice.
But yeah, I love the karaoke story. That was a fun night. I can never turn down karaoke, whether I, stone face it first. I'll usually give in eventually, but karaoke was my shit, man. I won second place in karaoke contest once a long time ago.
Oh, yeah?
Up in Worcester, Worcester, Mass, and won second place because the last round, it was a 3-round over the course of 3 weeks, kind of like American Idol style thing. And we got to sing whatever you want for the 2 qualifying rounds. But once you got to the finale, you had to do a Bee Gees song, and that's like what?
Which Bee Gees songs do you do?
So you can only do one song.
Yeah.
Somebody else chose "How Deep Is Your Love," which was going to be my go-to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, win or lose, I'm having fun. So I did "Staying Alive," and I did it all falsetto. And I don't have a very good falsetto voice at all, but I can hold the note, which is all you really have to do. And I danced, I think, which is what kind of charmed the judges as well. But I won second place behind this kid named Cooper. who's a professional poker player.
Damn you, Cooper.
But he won.
You still hold a grudge against Cooper?
Nah, I love that kid to death. He won $1,000. I won $500.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a fun little experience.
What'd you spend your $500 on?
At the time, I think it was more beer.
Oh, I thought I was seriously expecting you to say like a tattoo.
No. I didn't pay for many of my tattoos.
Oh, really?
Maybe 6 of my 40-something tattoos I actually paid money for.
Oh, yeah?
Real money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Real money versus like what? Monopoly money?
My entire left arm was paid for by Subway sandwiches.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
Yep. I had a buddy who was an apprentice. So he would tattoo me for free. I would buy him lunch and sometimes tip him.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
man, speaking of that, we got that one question that came in about me and a tattoo, since I don't have any tattoos. Dude. And like, I don't know, it was like, let the subscribers vote on it. But I don't really like that. I'm thinking like a competition, you know. I lose, then okay. But if Bobby loses, then maybe he, you know, I don't know, gets another tattoo or something. Tattoo's no big deal to him.
I'll happily get another tattoo.
Like,
I've been itching for it anyway.
He has to eat something, you know, like Bobby's a super picky eater.
Yeah. Well, that's actually how I got this one.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody dared me to eat onions, which I refused to do most of my life. So
you are a wild man.
I used to lie to waitresses and tell them that I was allergic to onions just to be 100% certain I would never get onions on anything. So
you just don't like onions? Is it the flavor or is it like spiciness?
It's the flavor of onions specifically.
Because they're not really spicy or anything.
It's not spiciness. It's just it's just an odd taste to me.
Oh my God. Speaking of spicy, like my son, I got another the boy story.
Those are the best.
Yes. So his aunt, my sister, a few years ago, like introduced him to like the Flamin' Hot Cheetos and the jalapeno Cheetos, and he loves them. And I don't know, I don't really buy them for him, you know. And when she was in town, she'd always get them for him. And so like he and we had to go to the park to a birthday party this past Saturday. And we stopped by the gas station, and I was going in because I just had to get something to put on my stomach and get a drink. And he wanted something too, and there was like this little small bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And he's like, Dad. And I was like, I was in a hurry, so I was like, all right, fine, just get it. Yeah. So he gets it. He just tears through the bag of Flaming Hot Cheetos, and then we go to the birthday party, do that, go out to eat, you know, after that. And then, you know, we're going home and, you know, winding down the night. It was probably, you know, around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I'm getting tired. I go back in my room. He's in my bed. And when he's in my bed, he's sitting on this, like, bag of ice. I was like, son, what are you doing? Now, I mean, he didn't have it in his shorts. He was just sitting on the bag of ice. I'm like, son, what are you doing? He was like, man, those hot Cheetos, they gave me fire butt. I was like, fire butt?
Fire butt's the worst.
He was like, when I poop or when I fart, he was like, it hurts.
Oh my God.
And so like in his mind, the way to combat it was sitting on ice cubes. So I'm dying laughing. And I'm just like, all right, man. I was like, let's just, I was like, I'm going to go to bed and everything. So, you know, you need to get your ice. You need to get your ice out of here. So he picks up the bag of ice and he sticks his hand in it and gets like a piece of ice and he starts eating it. And I'll just look, yeah.
Flush his system.
So like my jaw drops. I'm like, son, I was like, you've been sitting on that ice for a while, haven't you? And he's like, yeah, like it's nothing. And I was like, your butt has been on the ice. Yeah. And I was like, and now you're eating said ice.
Oh my God.
He's like, yeah.
He's eating the fart ice.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love that boy.
That's so funny.
Cracks me up.
What did he say? Fire butt?
Fire butt. Dad, I got fire butt.
I experienced that recently. Is he a fan of Takis? How does he feel about Takis?
I think he's had them, but he loves anything like that.
Ooh, Takis are chef's kiss, bro.
Yeah.
Try them out.
I'll get him to try those.
They're like chili lime as opposed to like spicy pepper or whatever the hot Cheetos are. But I crushed a whole bag of those recently and went to the bathroom the next morning and I was like, what? I should probably go to the doctor's. It was just I wasn't expecting that. And I totally forgot that I ate them the night before.
Man, I used to love spicy food, but the older I get now, it legitimately hurts my stomach, man. Like, I'm just like, I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
And so, like, I love sushi, and I get spicy tuna. That's not bad or anything. Right. But once I start, adding more and more wasabi to it, or if a piece of ginger gets on there, man,
it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as funny as picky of an eater as I am, I actually love spicy food. Well, like spicy, like I'll eat like I'll go to a wing place, pick the highest level or the second highest level or something like that, you know. But I won't eat like I'm not a big vegetable guy in general. So.
Is that like the Thai? Like, are you talking about like the Thai restaurants where you can choose your level?
No, like even Buffalo Wild Wings has like an extreme level.
But everybody I talked to said that it. Some people say that it's not the hottest that they've ever had, and they're like, it's not good. They're like, it's just all it is just the heat.
And the heat and pain.
They're like, there's no good flavor to it.
With that being said, I did that, that chip challenge, the one chip.
Yeah.
You just eat that one super spicy chip. I did that once, and I thought I was dying.
There's no way.
Dude, I sat crisscross applesauce in the shower with cold water running down my back, like crying because I was in so much pain. My stomach just felt like there was something trying to come out of my stomach. Like
you're just trying to burst out like alien.
Oh my God, dude. And I couldn't stand up straight. If I stood up straight, I'd get like crunched back down again. I was miserable. I literally sat on the floor crying for like 10 minutes. My family's just watching me.
Shelby walks by and you're crying in the bathtub. She's like, there, that's my man.
I shut the door. I blasted music and I just turned the water on and I just sat there for like 30 minutes.
I you know what? I would do the same exact thing. Like I've had my old coworkers, they be like, hey, we need to do something like that, because one guy was super into it, and I was like, absolutely not. I was like, I'll do a lot of things, but when it comes to eating the spicy stuff like that, I know everybody was taking those challenges. I just can't do that.
Yeah,
I would die.
Right. I like food challenges at restaurants though, like not necessarily spicy ones. Like what was that show with Adam? What's his name? Adam something, the guy with the black hair. He would go to different like restaurants and do their challenge, like eat the biggest burger they have or whatever, or finish the giant bowl of pasta.
See, I could do something like that, but the thing is, everybody just assumes that I eat like huge meals when I eat like super super small meals. Like I get filled up really quick, but I could totally do something like that versus say like the old Fear Factor, like. I'm just not eating well dick or whatever it is, dude. Like
I heard
I can't do it's nasty.
Have you ever heard Rogan tell stories about like behind the scenes shit?
Yeah, some. Yeah.
He's like that stuff's like mentally abusive. Like you're like forcing people to eat cow dick.
Dude, like there was something on there and it was some penis from some animal. I have no idea, but it was I couldn't believe they showed it on TV, and I remember watching it like back in the early 2000s. Even then I was just like, can't believe they're showing us on TV, because it was just like slimy and nasty,
shaped like a dick.
Yeah, shaped that's exactly what it was. Then it's got slime coming off of it, and I'm like, where are we at as a society?
I felt that way when I finally heard the word bitch on the radio.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because like my whole life, it's always been blurred out, or like songs would do that awkward like over the bitch. But I heard it down here once. They just said it loud and clear. I was like, whoa.
Oh my God,
how offensive.
So speaking of like hearing that on the radio, back in 99, whenever I was a student DJ at Chattanooga State, I was super gullible, and like this girl, she was trying to show me the ropes and everything, and she was like really hot, and so I was just like, anything she said, I was like, oh okay, yeah, sure. What are you doing after this? But she was like, this is a college radio station. We can say anything we want. Yeah. I was like, what do you mean we can say anything we want? And she was like, we don't, the FCC doesn't bother us, so we can curse, And I was like, no way. And she was like, sure. And she gets right up in the microphone and she's like, shit, fuck, piss, or something like that. And I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. And she was like, here, you do it.
That's amazing.
And I was like, and I was so nervous. And so like, I just creep up to this microphone, and when I'm doing it, her finger hits the button. So now we're live.
Oh
my
God.
We weren't live. I didn't even know because there's a light up there that'll let you know when you're live and when you're not and everything. We're live. And I just creep up this microphone. I'm like, fuck.
That's how you became Stu.
Yeah.
Right.
She was dying laughing. She's like, what an idiot.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I still asked her out.
There you go. Classic Steve. It reminds me, it's funny because when I was in high school, I was in a band, and it was just me and two of my buddies. They were twin brothers, Scott and Steven, and we were an acoustic group. And we played a show. You know Hot Topic, the emo store in the mall? We played a show at Hot Topic. And we met these girls who were visiting Worcester from Boston, and they came to our show, and they're like, oh, you guys are great. You guys should come play a set at our college. And we're like, fuck yeah, we'll go play a set at your college. Absolutely. So we arranged it. We went down, played a set at their college, and they're like, you guys should stay the weekend. And we're like 3 high schoolers like, absolutely. I'm like, heck yeah, we'll stay the weekend. We stayed the weekend, and then we played their radio show, and we were so fucking impressed because all we could do was think of the actual radio and how, like, clean it was and how, like, the radio DJs sounded like a bunch of douchebags, like, hello. But these college kids were just, like, shooting the shit and, like, kind of like a podcast, but they were, like, talking shit, and they were swearing, and then they had us come play music, and, like, they were asking us questions. We're like, the radio's fucking so cool. And then it was, like, our life goal to get our music on the real radio, and it was not nearly as cool.
Oh, my God, man. But that's a great story.
Yeah. Oh, my God, dude.
It's funny.
Milked it, too. Like,
You're talking about, like, you know, having that radio voice and everything. Being on the college radio station, we really didn't have to do that. Now, our communication teacher, she was in charge, you know, of preparing us before we went on the radio. She'd really try to get us to enunciate, and hardly any of us did it. But, you know, she was really kind of strict on our call letters.
Right.
And so, like, it was, let me see if I can do it. WAWL. So you had to enunciate it. So it was double U.
You sound far less Southern when you do that.
I know. I was like, WLZ. W Louie.
Oh, goodness.
She's like, no, you idiot. You got to enunciate.
That's funny. I want to bring that back to you talking about your communications teacher. I've been meaning to ask you, just because I don't know, and it's just strictly out of curiosity. But you mentioned you had gone to college for communications, and I've always been curious what that entails. Like, what's that setting you up for, essentially?
I thought I was going to be on the radio. That was my goal, was to...
Is that most people's goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
The radio and communication is so broad. So, like, you know, you would think that radio or, say, being an anchor on TV, but it's not just that. It could be, you know, setting you up to be a producer, to editing, to running the camera, you know, just being a part of that. And it's super broad. I really, really wish I would have stuck with it, because I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It makes me think of this story. I have a friend whose dad has a super, like, New York accent, and he was gonna go to school for communications, and his dad's like, "The fuck you doing that for? You don't know how to communicate? We're communicating right now."
Oh, that is awesome. That guy needs his own show.
Oh my God, tell me about it. I actually have a friend who was a photographer. Best story in the world. And his dad, he was doing headshots of another friend of ours, and he was trying to, I think, get headshots for a magazine or to be in a band or something, and he was taking shirtless pictures, and they were in my friend's living room. His dad comes home and goes, "Hey, listen, I don't care if you're gay. I don't want you doing that shit in my house." He's like, "Dad, I'm just taking pictures of him." Oh my God, that was the moment where I'm like, this man needs a show.
That is great.
The stuff this man says in his, like, awesome Boston accent is amazing. I miss him. But yeah, that's like my OG friend group from high school. That's like the biggest inside joke between the four of us. Just like, I don't care if you're gay, just don't do it in my house.
Not under my roof.
Shout out, you know who you are if you're listening. But
yeah, man, it was a trip, dude. Like, one of the things that we had to do was make a commercial, and it was like a real commercial. And cool. So me and this woman in my class, they paired everybody up. You didn't get to choose who your partner was, and so they paired us up. And she was, I was like 18, 19, somewhere around there. You know, she was at least, you know, early 30s or, you know, maybe mid 30s. And at first, I think neither one of us really wanted to work with each other. But once we started talking, we're like, oh, this is going to be good, you know, because we started bouncing ideas and everything. And so, like, we wrote out the script, and it was nothing. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't bad. I can't remember it. But what I do remember, we were trying to think of some sort of music to put behind it. And I was like, at that time, Austin Powers just came out. Classic. Or it was somewhere around that time. And so I was like, let's use the theme music to Austin Powers, you know? And she was like, that's a great idea. So we put it behind there. And we've never heard anything like that before because it was just so, I don't want to say corny. It was just different, you know, and
70s.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was really fun. And so, like, you know, we had the music, and then that made us, like, whenever we would read the script, we were really getting animated and getting into it the more we heard the music, you know, because we wanted to go along with it. So we played it for the teacher. And she absolutely loved it. She was like, that was brilliant. And so, like, they run the commercial and everything. And then come, say, like, a couple years later when I'm living in Phoenix, I would hear every commercial use that same music. And I was like, I never heard anybody do it before me. I'm not going to say I'm the first, but the movie had just came out.
Sounds like you're the first, Steve.
Yeah, it could have been, but, you know, I'm sure, you know, it was so good. People would just recognize. Like, hey, I got to put that, you know, behind there.
That's fair.
But man, it was fun.
So do you have this video anywhere? Do you have it?
Oh no, it was a commercial on the radio.
Oh, it was on the radio.
Yeah, it was just
no
ad.
like live copies of it or anything.
No.
Dang.
No, it was just an ad.
Dang. Oh, it's an ad, a video ad. I mean, an audio ad.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It would have been cool. I wish I would have had, you know.
For some reason, I'm picturing you in like a commercial dressed as Austin Powers.
Oh, dude, I would totally do it.
You should.
Like when Stephanie posted in that, in the militia group, in our private group, about the parade.
It's private.
I was like, oh shit, am I saying something? And she was like, you know, who's going to walk in it? And they're talking about Chris being Santa again.
Yeah.
And I post that picture. I'm like, only if he wears this outfit, you know?
Chris is Santa?
Yeah. Like, because he's so jacked. I was like, you know, God. That shirt with the no sleeves and everything, like the suspenders. And I was like, oh man, I was like, if he does that, I'll be his elf.
We should get him. We should get him like a, you know who Master Ken is. I think his name.
Oh
is.
Yeah, yeah.
We should get him like a.
That's
Master
what I'm
Ken
talking
style,
about.
Like a gi with no sleeves, but
he's got to have the black suspenders and the pants and the boots.
And I think we should put him on roller skates. Because Chris Gordy Sr. is a good roller skater compared to the rest of the Gordys.
Really?
Yeah, you were at the party.
Oh, that's right.
He was whipping, and everybody else is like, oh, the wall.
Were they like specially made skates? I mean, how the hell did they find something put over his feet?
Maybe. That's funny.
That man's feet. I've never seen anything like it.
I was very impressed with his roller skating.
Like, I've taken pictures. Like, I've walked behind him taking pictures. I've just submitted it to, like, all these conspiracy theories. I'm like, I found him.
I found Bigfoot.
I got Bigfoot.
He's in Eastridge, Tennessee.
He's not really that tall, but he's got massive feet.
But the bulkiness checks out.
Like, it's funny that you do that 23andMe and it tells you your DNA and stuff like that. I would love to see Gordy's. I know it's got to be like 99% Neanderthal.
The conspiracy theorist in me says, don't give your DNA to those people.
Well, I was talking to Chip about it, and Chip did it. Really? And I'm pretty sure he was telling me that he had a lot of Neanderthal
I would imagine.
DNA. And I'm like, yeah, I'd see it. I was like, yeah, because both of them are just jacked.
He's such a fucking thick man.
Yeah, just big.
I know he's listening because he subscribed to all of our shit. So shout out to Chip.
Shout out Chip. Chip, I miss you, man.
He's a gangster.
Oh God, man.
Oh man. I still like you mentioned it. You're obviously much closer to his age than I am, but like,
yeah.
That's what I strive. That's what I want to strive to be.
Oh, dude.
At 50, whatever, you know.
Chip is like, what was that like? I think it was like two Mel Gibson movies. One, What Women Want, and like he was the man's man or whatever. And then like the other one, I think it was like Stepfathers or Stepdads, where he was. It had Will Ferrell and
Stepdads 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Step Brothers 2. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that movie, wherever it was, and Mel Gibson. And I was like, that's Chip.
Don't touch the thermostat.
Yeah.
That was a funny movie. I like that one better than the first one.
Like I said, like one of the greatest days of my life was when somebody mistook me for Chip. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, I met you like a few days ago in the morning class.
Yeah. That's me. Oh, man. What a guy. What a guy. What you got over there?
Just, let's see here.
I was going to go into something when we were talking about...
I've actually brought notes this time.
Oh, good.
I know, right?
Just so I know where to listen to later.
All right.
Sorry.
No worries. You scared the hell out of me.
We're in the hood.
I
think I'm just going to leave it in now because it's funny.
Speaking of being in the hood, what I love is like when I'm coming to your place and like the road is what, like Priceless View.
Yeah.
And then you got to turn on Enchanted View.
Don't give everybody my address.
I'm not giving the address. Apartment 6. But like you're right at the base of this mountain. And when you look up the mountain, you can see like all these just $1 million homes, you know, and I'm like, I wonder what the street names up there, like Little People Overlook. What is it?
I feel like we're in a fucking bug, like a, what's the word? Like people are like an ant farm.
Oh yeah.
Like there's people at the top of the mountain just looking down on us constantly.
Oh, totally.
And I went on Google. This is how crazy. I have this new thing, and I'm actually going to go into another story afterwards. But I have this new thing where I go on Google Earth constantly, and I go to 3D view, and I just look at shit from like different perspectives.
I started doing that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So I literally will map my house here, and then I'll go up the mountain. I'll scroll up the mountain, and then I'll go to the house that I can see right here, and then I'll go 3D view, zoom in, and then I'll look down the mountain from his perspective. And you can freaking see this whole neighborhood just like clear as day. I'm like, I'm out here walking my dog in my underwear half the time, and like this guy's up there with binoculars looking down on me probably.
Oh, you worried about the guy on top of the mountain, not the dude that's next door to you?
Oh, no, everybody around here does it. We all just...
It is crazy. Like every time I pull up here and I see that mountain and I see the people, I'm like, I bet they just look down. They're like, peons.
Look at these
peons.
Look at these slaves of ours. So funny. Oh, man. Yeah, I'd like to live up there.
Man, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? My only fear is like, earthquake or...
falling off the mountain.
Yeah.
My wife can't even drive up these mountains. She
Really?
has a full-blown panic attack.
Really?
She'll go 5 miles an hour up the mountain, and people are whipping past her at 50. And she's just like, how are they driving so fast? She like won't look to the right. She won't look over the hill. She's just like tight and stiff. And
dude, take her to I went to Washington State, and I went up both St. Helens and Rainier, and I forgot which one it was, or it could have been both, but like once you get to a certain point, you literally drive through the clouds. Like it was amazing.
That's
like
crazy.
You can see clouds, and you're going higher and higher and higher. All of a sudden, your car is going through the first layer of clouds.
That's ridiculous.
And then you come out on top, and as you're still ascending and going up, you look over, look down, and there's clouds below you now. It was crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. I really, really would like to go back to Washington State just for that.
Have you ever been skydiving?
I have not.
Oh, no.
Have you?
I have.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I went with my 4 buddies. And a fantastic story, actually. So it was tandem skydiving, so we were attached. 2 of us were attached to this like skinny guy, and then 2 of us were we went up separately. So
there was 3 of you together?
There was 4 people total: me, Scott, Steve, and Zach, and we went 2 and 2. So like there was a pilot, there was 2 instructors, and then we went up 2, and then they went up after we went.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I went with the Russian guy, big giant Russian guy. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This guy's far too heavy for the 2 of us, and like that seems uncomfortable, but clearly he's a professional. And then there's the other guy. So we went up, went down. It was amazing. I had my nipple pierced at the time. Don't ask me why. Long story. Just one nipple. And when he pulled the parachute, I was all hooked up, and he yanked the piercing out of my nipple. It was miserable. It was really bad. But we land, everything's fine.
Sorry about your nipple piercing.
Pretty much. But what's even funnier is
Sissy boy.
they go back up, come back down. Our buddy gets sick and pukes in midair because after they pull the chute, right? So it wasn't like free falling and he puked, but it was after they pulled the chute. He likes to like go wee and like spin the parachute around and like let you get a full view. My buddy's like, "Hey, no, you got to stop. I'm gonna puke." He goes, "No, what? I can't hear you. What? Wee!" And then Zach pukes all over the place. He lands, and the Russian guy goes, "Your friend. He's a fucking pussy. He puked all over me."
At least the chute had been pulled.
Yeah,
because if it
true.
was prior to that,
But
he is just taking a face.
What I always think of, because it was a giant airfield in the middle of like a kind of a rural, like kind of a decent suburb neighborhood. I can only imagine just somebody sitting at their pool, minding their own business, and then just Zach's puke from up in the air, just hitting them 10 minutes later.
Man, like my two biggest fears are like I don't want to say heights. Now heights do kind of bother me, but I still the older I get, they bother me. It seems like they bother me more, but I still, I don't let it stop me. I'll go up on really high things and everything, but like say dying in a plane crash or electricity, those two I don't like. But I've flown everywhere. I've been on countless flights all across the United States, and then had to work with electricity and stuff like that. But like I've thought about it. I'm like, before I die, do I want to go skydiving? And I kind of do, but I'm like, I don't know if I could actually make it out the door. I'm sure they would like force me out the door. But if I ever did it, I think the only way that I would do it is if I did it with like Andy Stumpf. And so I know that, that was 99% will never happen. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm never skydiving.
No, probably not.
Yeah. But that 1% chance,
I'm going to reach out somehow and, suggest he do a workshop and everybody go skydiving together.
I would do it. I would do it with him. I'd be scared to death, but it's just a trust kind of thing. And hearing him speak about skydiving and watching him, on YouTube and stuff, just like I said, it's a trust. So I'm like, I don't know the guy, but obviously he knows what he's doing. Yeah. So
there you go. Sweet.
I cannot believe you've been skydiving.
Yeah, man. It was a good time. It sucks because we were like 18, 19. We didn't have a bunch of money, so we didn't pay for the whole video package. So we have like videos of us landing and like videos of us going up in the plane, but nothing of us actually in the plane and skydiving. So
really?
We just made this like crappy little montage video.
That sucks.
I know it sucks, but I don't know if I'd do it again. It was a very quick experience. So
really,
it was just, I felt like it was over too quick, which, I mean, it was cool. It was a lot, as you're free falling, it's like, holy shit, this is a lot. Holy shit. Like, and then you just float. And like, that's the nice part. But like free fall is weird.
So when you come out of the plane, I mean, are you just dropping like a rock? I mean,
he goes, okay, going to count to 3. 1, 2, push. And then we just drop and we're just, and like, he'll let us flop around for a little bit. And then he'll like do crazy shit, and then he'll flip us a couple times.
What?
And then he'll do the flat thing where we just fly.
No. I don't want any tricks or anything.
He was doing some crazy shit. And then when he actually pulled the parachute, he was like, whee, spinning us around. You pulled the 2 levers, and like you go this way.
I don't think I'd mind that. I think that'd be okay. But the actual before the chute is deployed, like we're doing barrel rolls.
That's the whole part that's like so overwhelming because it's so quick and like you're moving so fast. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So, but
yeah. Like
I
couldn't do that. I mean, did you keep your eyes open the whole time?
Yeah, I had goggles on. So.
I would like to think that I would, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah, it's not so bad. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it again one day. I did want to bring up my Google Earth story, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I just know that was me. I went into the tangent, but I was thinking about it last night. I found a TikTok account, and they find weird shit on Google Earth. And I found a coordinate last night, and it's next to Antarctica. It's like if you go on Google Earth and you zoom in, and maybe I'll see if I'll put a picture of it in the podcast if anybody watches it on YouTube. If you zoom in, it's this small island to the top right corner if you're looking straight on an Antarctica. And then above that small island, there's a smaller island that you have to zoom in, and like it's not fully pixelated right away. You got to zoom in. On that island, it looks like it's just like a small volcano with like some flat land. There is what looks like a pile of dead bodies on this beachfront, and it's ridiculous. I'll show you after this. It's insane. But I think about the TikTok account that finds all these like places, and like they do crazy shit. And I found a guy once. I went to Honolulu and I picked like a random small island off the coast of one of the Hawaiian Islands, zoomed in on a random gas station, and then hit Street View. And the Street View, it was the only available Street View in the area, and it was just a man taking a selfie. And Google registered that as a Street View for that gas station on this random island in Honolulu. So like my new favorite obsession is just like scanning Google Earth and looking for weird shit.
So this, what in Antarctica, I can't even say the word right. Antarctica, where it has like the pile of dead bodies. Is this something that you'd seen on TikTok prior, and then you looked it up yourself?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if you just discovered
So no.
it.
So first, no, I wish, but I mean the man taking the selfie, I discovered by myself. I haven't found anybody else who found that. But it's ridiculous how much of a pile of dead bodies it looks like, and it's like it makes me think like, because the satellites are snapping pictures all the time, and the Street View people are snapping pictures all the time. So like they must find like the funniest shit. If you go to my wife's grandparents' address in England, you see her grandfather mowing the lawn.
Oh yeah,
like right there in the front yard. So
that'd be awesome.
I'm so fascinated by it now. I get, it's like instead of wasting all my time on TikTok, I'm wasting all my time doing that now.
I've seen that one where they posted like the screensaver on the majority of like I guess Windows or whatnot, where it has the ocean and then has that kind of island and big rock out there.
Yeah.
I actually watched them, I guess that was in New Zealand, where they go to Google Earth and zoom in and then, show you where it's at.
Yeah, man.
I was like, and literally when it was a beautiful picture, and I always thought, I was like, they just probably something they put together.
Right.
But no, it's real.
It's crazy though. It's crazy how that shit's taking pictures of us all the time.
All the time. Big Brother is constantly watching. Big Brother is constantly listening. Right here, our phones. Mm-hmm. Like, you love TikTok, and you have it on there, and just the agreement that you have to... Because I don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
But I've seen the agreement, and it's crazy.
I know.
Like, if you do have another child, I think TikTok now has rights to it. I mean, it's crazy, like that agreement, and they're listening to us right now.
It's funny that you just said that, because yesterday my sister had another baby, and which is wild to me, but she had a baby, and everybody was FaceTiming because Massachusetts COVID laws are still crazy, so they couldn't have anybody else in the delivery room besides her husband and my mother, I think at separate times. So my sister was FaceTiming everybody, and I was thinking, like, that baby's just seeing a screen. Like, this baby just came into the world, and there's a fucking screen in his face now like this, and he sees people on this square in front of him. And in my head, I'm just like, that's me overthinking. And I said it to my sister, and I was like, I hope I didn't offend her, because, like, she must have realized, like, oh, shit, yeah, actually get the screen out of my kid's face. Like, it's weird. I wonder if that's got any programming, like if that early on, like, people have memories of seeing the bright light and seeing the guy in the mask, in the doctor's outfit, like people describe that all the time. So imagine 20 years from now, you're having these vivid flashbacks of seeing a square with people's faces on it in front of you as a baby.
And that stupid ass like cat.
Right, the cat filter.
Yeah, the cat filter on Snapchat. Man, why do girls love that thing?
I don't know, man.
I have seen on social media so many times, like, they put the filter on, and ladies, I'm not knocking you. I love you. I love you. I love you. But, like, sometimes those filters, especially if I know you or whatnot, I'm like, come on now.
Now, I get some of them from, like, a cuteness perspective. Like,
they take all blemishes and everything, and, like, the face is almost, like, completely white, and then, you're like, oh, wow.
For, like, every picture, pretty much. Yeah.
And then they start adding the cat ears and the whiskers and stuff, and, then I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. But
I don't think I could date someone like that.
I don't know. Just embrace it, baby.
I had
show the world your natural beauty.
Before, I guess it became an asshole thing to point out the filters. I had friends. They were married, and the wife was constantly posting pictures of them together, but she put a filter on both of them. And like, this is kind of like when filters first started coming out, or that filter started coming out, and I would just constantly comment on there. I'm like, who are you fooling, you know? Oh my God, I know you're a baby face, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And like now, look back, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a little mean.
You're such a bad guy.
Yeah.
Nah.
But boy, I gave her husband shit about it.
Well,
I still would.
You should. No filters, unless you're like
especially dudes, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, girls, fine. Teenagers.
Yeah.
That's cool. Go for it.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
even then, though, like that kind of, I feel like, I don't know, I get all, like, you know, philosophical on it, but, like, that probably imposes not the best beauty standards for yourself, you know? If kids are only taking pictures of themselves with filters, then they're never going to really think that they're beautiful, maybe, you know, like shit like that. But who knows?
Like, I think about it. I was the last generation I'll be the last generation ever to where we didn't have, say, the internet or smartphones or social media or anything like that. Like, everything from here on out is just going to be a part of the norm. Right. You know, like my kids will never know, you know, what it was like. And so to me, I think about that a lot. I'm like, damn, that's crazy, you know?
I heard something the other day that technology, what was it? I think it was technology has doubled every 18 months for the past 200 years. Every 18 months, technological advancements have doubled in...
See, I would have thought that... if I had to guess, I wouldn't have gone back 200 years. I would have thought it would have been since, like, say, the late 30s, early 40s.
That probably makes more sense than...
Yeah. That's what I would have thought. Because, like, you got to think, like, World War II and everything, and those scientists, what they were coming up with was just crazy. And, like, I do believe that we landed on the moon. I know there's a lot of people that don't, but look at, like, say, it was crazy from... You go from 1940 to... I forgot, it was sometime in the 60s, I think, that we put the first man on the moon. And just how the leap, you know, like we were just learning about rocket technology, because everything before that was just like, you know, propeller based and stuff. Right. And, you know, 20 years later, we're putting someone on the moon, you know, like, I mean, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
It's, there's a word for when we eventually reach that max. Forget the word for it, but I was reading about it the other day, and how like the technology's only like you think about that like since the 1930s, 40s, but then you also think about the last 25 years and how
nuts
even quicker it's seemingly going, and how like every year now almost it seems like computing power is doubling. You know,
early 2000s, I thought we had reached the pinnacle of technology. Yeah. Like, it was just amazing. Like, man, all this stuff that we can do. And now you look back at the early 2000s and just like, oh, that's archaic.
Yeah, for real. It's like I saw like an old school like box screen computer the other day, and I was like, this is hilarious.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But I grew up in the generation like that was like perfectly in between both of those, because there was a point in time until I was at least 6, 7 where I didn't have internet, computer, stuff like, I mean, it existed, but in my house we didn't have it, you know. So I was outside playing till the street lights came on, and then we got the computer, you know, and then I found RuneScape and World of Warcraft and all those games and shit, and turned into a millennial.
See, I'm trying to get my kids not to do that. They absolutely love say like their Switch or, you know, being on the phone, playing mobile games. I don't allow them to have any kind of social media. Now they do get to go on and watch, you know, certain things on YouTube and everything, and I try to monitor that, but they will do it from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. Yeah. And I'm trying to get them out of that. Like, you know, yesterday, it's always a struggle to get them out of the house. You know, like I come home yesterday, I could tell like they were both just in a mood, you know, and upset with each other and upset in general. So like, you know, it's like, all right, all devices down. We're going outside, and there's like, oh man. So we go outside and we start throwing a frisbee. We start playing badminton, and after being out there for like 30 minutes, they're really getting into it and they're loving it. And I was like, man, I should really be back at work, but hey, I got to do this,
right. Yeah.
And so we're out there and we're having a ball, we're having so much fun. The only reason we stopped was the badminton racket broke. But it makes me think, like, when I was a kid, I mean, it was just like you said, I was outside until it got dark. I mean, the rule in my house was with my dad, as soon as we got home from school, I would try to turn on some cartoons, and it was only like, say, 30 minutes by the time I got home to when my dad did. Mm-hmm. When I heard that, you'd always hear his truck. You'd hear his truck like a mile away. When I start to hear that truck, I knew, I'd turn it off, and my butt would run outside just to show that I was out there. And I was a latchkey kid, like, really, really early, probably around Jace's age. So, but, the rule was like, you stay out there and play. And then, once it's dark, that's when you come home and, we'd take a shower and get dinner and stuff like that. Right. And I love it. I'm so happy that he made us do that. Yeah. Because it was awesome. Like, just playing with the other kids in the neighborhood, having pine cone wars and stuff, and BB gun fights. And I mean, there was a lot of room to get hurt there. Like,
for sure.
Like, we're shooting each other with like legitimate BB guns, and I remember I shot this one kid in the chin. But like, my dad would give us like a big bag of fireworks. He'd crack a beer, he's going inside to sit in the lazy boy. He's like, go have fun.
Don't burn the house down.
Do whatever you got to do. And we did. We like literally set the field across the house on fire a couple of times and had to call the fire department.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Country living.
Oh man. Like, he got us a go-kart, and that go-kart was, oh God, I was probably Jace's age when we got it. So I was like somewhere around 7 or 8. I'm driving this damn thing by myself. I think I could ride a bicycle at that time. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I could. But like, I'm driving this go-kart.
How fast did it go?
Oh, it had to go, at that age, it felt like it was going a million miles per hour. It was, someone can correct me, but I would say 20. Maybe
that's fast, for
somewhere between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
Because I just remember, and I never just barely had the gas, the pedal pushed down. It was all the way to the floor. I was trying to go as fast as I could. And I remember I'm at my school, or my elementary school at the time, and they have like this big field where they have a baseball and soccer field and stuff like that. And back in those days, it wasn't fenced off. So, we would just my dad would load up the go-kart in the back of the truck, take us there and then get the go-kart out. And man, we just haul ass through there. And so like, I remember my uncle showed up on a 3-wheeler, and, like I said, I'm about 7 years old, and my cousin, who's my age, she was about the same age, about 7 or 8. She's sitting in the passenger seat. And so like, we're just hauling ass through this field. My uncle comes up on the right side of us. He's looking over and he's smiling and laughing. And my cousin, she's kind of looking at him. She's like, and she's acting like she's going to jump and everything. And she kind of stood up a little bit in the go-kart. And as soon as she did it, I cut it as hard as I could left. She shot off like a rocket.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She almost wiped him out on that 3-wheeler. And then when I look back, man, I just see her tumbling through dirt. Just
no.
Yeah, like, so Rachel, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to kill you that day.
Yeah, right.
And like the things that we would do, like I remember my sister, like my dad, we had a little cornfield, and my dad took the tractor, and after the corn had died and everything, he cut us out like a little maze in there, like a little racetrack.
Oh, that's cool.
So, we were taking these turns and doing everything we could, as fast as we could and everything. And my sister, she loved doing it. She was out there all the time on that damn go-kart.
Nice.
And just it was like Mario Kart, basically, She's trying to beat her best time.
Oh, I can't imagine.
So, like, she'd be going, and I'd hear her, and I would jump out of the corn, and I'd be like, and I'd just kind of like throw my hands up and everything. And she'd always swerve around me, and she's like, get out of here. It really pissed her off. And so, like, I remember I jumped out and she was like, one more time and I'm running you over. And I'm like, whatever, I'm going to call her bluff. Mm-hmm. So I jump out and I could see, like, she wasn't turning like she normally was. She was coming straight at me. So I turn around and I just start hauling ass. I'm running toward the house. At that moment, my mom and my grandma are walking out the front door. And the last thing that I remember, two of the last things I remember, this sharp pain behind my knees, and it was the front of the go-kart. And she hit me in the back of my knees, and it instantly I was in the dirt on my knees, and then the rest of the go-kart going over me, and the engine was in the rear, and it bopped me in the back of the head, and I was out. My mom screaming bloody murder. She just thought she witnessed me get killed.
Oh, my Lord.
And my mom really didn't have too much to say about it. She just shaking her head like, kids.
Shouldn't have been fucking
Well, she was my dad's mom, so she was like, just a Wyatt thing.
And your sister's like, I told you, don't fuck with me.
My sister didn't stop. She just kept going, just hauling ass. Once she saw Mom, she was like, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, and she just going. And I remember Mom come over, and I was out.
That's so funny.
I was out like a light.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't have any cool go-kart stories like that. My neighbor was the WPI, which is a engineering school graduate, and he built a go-kart, and he let me race it around the neighborhood, but only one time. So,
man, I was thinking about this. I was wanting to tell you and Tom. I don't know if they still do it, but I know down in Cleveland, somewhere within the last 5 years, I think it was, they had this. They would shut down. They shut down like some streets in downtown Cleveland, like closer to where like the bars are and everything.
Yep.
And they had like these adult big wheel races. Wow. I didn't get to witness it or anything. I just read about it. And I was like, oh my God, if they ever do that again, I am totally doing that.
Absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Oh, can you get drunk and do it?
I know I'm going to.
That's awesome.
It's better. What they say, it's better ask for forgiveness than permission.
It's true.
What do you got for 5 minutes, man? What do you got going on?
Waiting to hear back from our client tomorrow to see if we're actually pressure washing.
It's exciting stuff. I was looking at the spreadsheet that you made, and to look at, we have definitely done way more work than, made more money than I expected. Up to this point, but like seeing, say, July and September, because those are our two busiest months. August, well, I think we had one job in August.
Yeah,
that's when I was like, all right, this is not going to work. This is, we're going down in flames. And then as soon as September gets here, I mean,
you are very
oh yeah, oh totally. I was like, that's it. It's a day without work.
I'll call you and you'll be in a mood, and I'll be like,
I'm in an interview. I'm going back to corporate.
Going back to the 9 to 5. No.
No, never. But like it's been awesome, and it's exciting, and like that's what I was thinking about on the way here. Like how we can take the money that we're making and grow, to scale the business and make it like just super legitimate.
Yeah, definitely. One day at a time. It's a learning experience, and I feel like we've only been doing this consistently for like 4 or 5 months or something like that, right? At this point, and I feel like a good chunk of people quit by now. So
yeah, and I can see that. So like just going back and looking at August and everything, and I was just scared to death. Like, oh my God! And then you come to realize that August is like the slowest month for pressure washing.
Right. Yeah, it's just weird, but I mean,
that's super weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
You would think the 3 slowest months are June, July, and August.
Right.
You would think that's your prime time, and those are the 3 slowest months out of the year.
Yeah, and that's across the board. That's most states.
Yeah, that's all across the United States.
Yeah.
And like, and our July was pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm excited to see where we take it. It's going to be interesting to see how we do this winter. Obviously, being in Tennessee, it's going to be cold enough where it's probably not going to happen, but it's also, in my mind, compared to Massachusetts, it seems like it might still be possible to pressure wash one or two things, over the winter.
I see us still continuing to stay busy up until probably just before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I think it's going to slow down I know it'll slow down, say like in January, February.
Yeah.
But then come March, that's usually when it starts to pick up. Like the spring is, prime time.
Definitely.
And then, it's just about pivoting. So
right.
like, when we do start to slow down, even if it's a little bit before Christmas or say after the New Year, we just really got to market heavy on gutter clean outs and brightening, which is something that, we do extremely well. We can make your gutters look like brand new, and we have no problem getting up there on a ladder and cleaning them out for you. It's all the dirty work that you don't have time to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to do that.
And sometimes if we forget our ladder, I just stand on Steve's shoulders.
Yeah.
And it's
like
very
I'll
fun
lift
to
him
watch.
up there sometimes.
Yeah.
Then he lifts me up.
Uppies.
Now we're floating.
That's a good note to end this on.
Guys, thank you so much. Again, we have had a couple of comments. What really going to help us if you guys will go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe. And please leave us some questions, comments. We got one in there about, me and a tattoo. And Bobby and I are going to figure out something, when it comes to that. But we would love to answer more questions, hear what you got. Also, go visit our Instagram page. We'll have White Belt Will Travel. Mm-hmm. We're going to start, posting more and more content to it as well. And we appreciate you guys. Oh, and might as well throw Elite Clean in there.
Who's that? Elite Clean? Never heard of them.
Oh, man. They are like the best, the premier in pressure washing in the Cleveland, Ottawa, and Chattanooga area.
You know what? Now that you say that.
Rings a bell.
Best in the biz, I heard.
Best in the business.
Wow.
No one better.
Do you have their phone number?
Yes, I do. It's 423-389-4771.
What an easy to remember phone number.
I always think I'm going to get it wrong when you put me on the spot like that.
I always get it wrong. That's why I put you on the spot.
See, I always thought you got
Sounds
it right.
I always do 9771 on accident.
Oh, yeah?
It's 4771.
4771.
Give us a call. Visit us at EliteCleanChattanooga.com. And thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Have a blessed day.
Peace.
I say that because I live in the South now.
They're like, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Do you know what bless your heart actually means?
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what it really means. You know how long it took me to realize that? People have told me my whole life, oh, bless your heart. And I'm sitting here thinking that they're being nice. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And they're just saying, oh, man, this little idiot.